So we will talk about today about the Abraham Accords and beyond. Abraham Accords was done by Jimmy Carter or James Carter to destroy the Palestinians and to destroy the PLO, and he used Norway to do that. So Norway is a contractor. If you take if you take America sometimes uses private military to enforce law and order outside their country. Okay? They give contracts. Sometimes they don't use their own forces, they give it to somebody else, whether it's in Iraq, Afghanistan. So Norway it does contract work for America, especially Abraham Accord. And then you have the shifting of the embassy, which also has contributed to this October 7th thing. Now, October 7th incident, it is not clear who killed those people, 1,200 or 1,600 people, because some of those people were killed by helicopter gunfire. So, they were not killed by the Palestinians. So, actually, they are hiding that part, what happened in October 7th, when the intelligence was given to Mr. Netanyahu, right? So you have to look at these things in different point of view, and you have to look at what is Abraham Accord. Now, if you take India, especially Modi's India, Modi has a Hindu agenda. So he had good relationships with Israel, right? Much more better relationship than the Indian leaders. Now, if after November 4th, there are going to be a backlash against the Indians in America. Even Vivek Ramaswamy and Kash Patel and these people, they are going to be backlash. So Indian foreign policy will be thrown into turmoil. And the Abraham Accords also will be neutralized to a certain extent. So this is why you have to give the Nobel Prize to Jimmy Carter, because he wants to destroy the Palestinians. That's the main idea behind the Abraham Accords. They don't state that, right? Now, what will happen after that? I think Indian foreign policy will change a lot. They will have to move away from America, and they will have to probably move away from Israel also, whether they like it or not. So that is something which is a part of this New York election. But New York election is a milestone. I wouldn't say that is the reason, but the things were coming to that point. So my gut feeling is that Mandani has changed the foreign policy of the Indian government to a certain extent. They have forced the Indian government to think about their foreign policy and whether they are going to go in the same route, especially for Modi, whether they are going to go in the same direction or different direction. Okay? So, if you take this genocide thing, it is true that the Western countries give weapons and intelligence, but the support is given by the neighboring countries, and they are all part of the Abraham Accord. They may have not signed documents, but they are part of it, right? So the casualties of the elections will be Abraham Accord and the Indian foreign policy to a certain extent, right? So if you look at the recent ceasefires are important for Israel, because then after that they can keep on killing people with the other side surrendering. This happened in Lebanon. This happened always. The Israel ceasefire means you cease and we fire. That is the Israel. Cease means not CEESC, SIE is a D, right? You cease. We are going to cease you and then we are going to fire. That's the ceasefires are about. So if you look carefully, the ceasefire celebration in Middle East with so-called Hamas and Israel, you can look at who are the people who came for that, and they are part of the Abraham Accord. So if you want to know who is part of the Abraham Accord, if you take Erdogan. Erdogan is a friend of Donald Trump. So he might threaten Israel, but he won't do. He will not take any action because the oil which comes to Israel comes through his country. Some of the oil, right? So if you have a genocide, you can stop the oil flow if you really want to. So there will be severe backlash when Mandan is elected, because certain things will be exposed, and even the alignment, and there will be some backlash against the Indians in America, whether you work for Donald Trump or not. There are going to be backlash, and I think by declaring Modi as associated, because I saw certain Indians making comment about Mandani, saying that he is nothing, right? So some of the Indians are really angry with Mandani, right? So this is, you have severe implications for this after these elections. It's much beyond New York, and it will, what is left? I mean, housing, childcare, and transport. Can you call that left agenda, or it's human agenda? So why do you label that as left? Right? It's more human agenda. These are some basic things. Yeah, you have to know how to fund them, but at least to a certain thinking that these are human agenda, not left agenda. Housing and transport and childcare, right? So trying to label this as left and trying to move to the center or something like that, it has no meaning. So more than there is an economic implication of these elections. These are local elections. This is not even a state election or federal election, but it has severe economic implication, and it has much more implications on the foreign policy. Okay? And there are some countries who didn't attend this ceasefire celebration, recent ceasefire celebration of Donald Trump. So the people who attended this thing, the ceasefire celebration, they are part of the Abraham Accords. Whether they have signed it or not, they are unofficially part of it, and it's going to affect them also, right? So a local election, this is not even a state election. This is a city election, but it has symbolism. I mean, it has severe implications for the world politics, alignment of the politics. For the Abraham Accords, the moving of the embassy in the United Nations colony, and even what happened in October 7th, you have to have a proper investigation, because we don't know who killed them, right? People think it was killed by the Palestinian resistance or whatever it is, terrorists or whatever you call them, but we are not sure who killed them. So I think the biggest victim of this election will be Modi. Modi of India, there will be setback for him.